What's up, dude? Hello everybody. Today we are going to be talking about a case that is a little bit more widely known but still is very interesting. So let's just jump right into it. Travis Victor Alexander was born on July 28th, 1977 in Riverside, California. His parents were Gary David Alexander and Pamela Elizabeth Morgan Alexander. He had 6 siblings. When he was 11 years old, Travis moved in with his dad's parents. Allegedly, his parents were addicted to drugs and the kids suffered physical abuse from their mother. His father passed away in July of 97, which led to Travis's other siblings to also be taken in by their grandparents. I really don't know why just he had been taken in initially, but you never know. Travis grew up to be a salesman and a motivational speaker for prepaid legal services, or PPL. He did create a very stable adult life for himself, which is really amazing considering, the abuse and everything that he grew up with. Jody Ann Arias was born on July 9th, 1980 in Salinas, California, which makes her 3 years younger than Travis. Her parents were William and Sandra Arias. Travis and Jody met in September of 2006 at a PPL conference in Las Vegas, Nevada. She was working as a freelance photographer, and they stayed up until 4 a.m. talking that night that they first met. Travis told his friends that he found his wife, and it was love at first sight. I went from intrigued by her to interested in her to caring about her deeply to realizing how lucky I would be to have her as part of my life forever, Travis once wrote to a friend once he and Jody had started dating. She's amazing. It's not hard to see that whoever scores Jody, whether it be me or someone else, is gonna win the wife lotto. At the time, Jody was living in Palm Desert, California. Travis was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He was a Mormon. So Jody converted and was baptized by him on November 26th of 2016 during a ceremony in Southern California. The couple was having premarital sex, which the church is very against, and sometimes Travis would take his guilt out on Jody. In texts and emails, sometimes he would call her a slut, even though they're both having sex, but either way. In 2007, the pair began dating, and Jody moved to Mesa in order to live closer to Travis. She moved to Eureka, California, I believe is how you pronounce it, in April of 2008, so only a year later. She lived with her grandparents when she first moved there, and Jody and Travis dated off and on for a year and a half, and oftentimes it was long distance since she lived in California and he lived in Arizona. After the two of them hung out with Alexander's friends, they gained a negative opinion of the two of them together as a couple. They found the relationship to be tumultuous and found Jody's behavior worrying. I started seeing things that were just disturbing. I said, "Travis, I'm afraid we're going to find you chopped up in her freezer," Sky Lovingyear Hughes, one of Travis's friends, explained to ABC. From very early on, she was completely obsessed with him. Early in 2008, Travis told friends that Jody would be working with him, or that she would be going with him on a work-related trip to Cancun, Mexico that was scheduled for June 15th. In April, Travis requested to change his travel partner to another female friend, Marie Hall. On May 28th, someone broke into Jody's grandparents' house. A handgun was stolen and was never recovered. It was a .25 caliber. Remember that for later on. Plus, also remember that Travis and Jody had an off and on, again, relationship. So her not going with him on this work-related trip could have, they could have planned to go together, but then broken up, and then he planned to take somebody else. So just kind of keep that in mind, too. On June 2nd, between 1 and 3 a.m., Jody called Travis 4 times, but wasn't able to get a hold of him. After 3 a.m., Travis called Jody twice and was able to get a hold of her, and their first conversation lasted 18 minutes, and the second one was about 41 minutes. Jody drove south to rent a car at 5:39 a.m. for a road trip to Utah since the gas prices were significantly higher in California, which we still typically see to this day, so that about checks out. On June 2nd at 8:04 a.m., Jody got a rental car from Redding, California. While on her way to Utah for a PPL work conference, she stopped in and visited friends in Southern California as well. She was going to meet up with Ryan Burns for the conference, who also worked at PPL. In the late evening on June 3rd, Jody left for Salt Lake City. On June 4th, the next day, Travis missed an important conference call. The next day, Jody met Ryan in West Jordan, which is a suburb of Salt Lake City, and the two went to business meetings in relation to the conference. Later, Ryan would say that he noticed Jody's typically blonde hair was now a dark brown. He also noted that she had cuts on her hands. On June 6th, she left Salt Lake City and headed back towards California. Several times she called Travis with no answer. She did leave a message for him though. Since it was early in the 2000s, she was able to access his cell phone's voicemail system. When she got back to California on June 7th and it was recorded, I guess I should say, that the car had been driven about 2,800 miles. Salt Lake City is only 768.8 miles from Eureka, California. Round trip, that's about 1,537.6 miles without the few miles that she drove to visit her friends. So she still put on 1,300 extra miles. The clerk at the car rental shop testified that the floor mats in the car were missing and there were red stains on the front and back seats. It couldn't be verified whether or not the car had floor mats before Jody had rented the car. Now, typically rental cars don't have floor mats because when they get worn out, it makes the car look bad and the companies don't want to replace them. So it's not like uncommon for it to not have floor mats. The car was cleaned and therefore the stains couldn't be analyzed. After not being able to get a hold of Travis on June 9th, a group of his friends went to his house to look for him. His roommates hadn't seen him for several days, but they were under the assumption that he was out of town, so they didn't think anything was wrong. Remember, he was supposed to be at that PPL conference. The group had to search for a key to Travis's room, but eventually they found one and went inside. They found large pools of blood that led from the hallway to the master bathroom, where they found Travis's body in the shower. He had 27 stab wounds, a slit throat, and a gunshot wound to the head. They also found a .25 caliber shell casing in the bathroom as well. He had defensive wounds on his hands. Travis was only 30 years old when he passed away. In the 911 call, the dispatcher asked whether or not Travis had been suicidal or if there was anyone that was mad at him and would want to cause him harm. The call was not heard by the jury during the trial. I don't know why. Right away, Travis's friends named Jody as a possible suspect. They claimed that she had been stalking him and accused that she accessed his Facebook account and slashed his car's tires. Remember that she had supposedly accessed his cell phone's voicemail as well? Just a fun little tidbit that I kind of noticed. While going through his home, the police found a digital camera that Travis had recently purchased that was damaged in the washing machine. The cops involved in the case were able to recover deleted photos from the camera that showed Jody and Travis in sexually suggestive poses that were taken at approximately 1:40 p.m. on June 4th. The last photo of Travis still alive was taken at 5:29 p.m. in the shower that same day. Moments later, there was a photo of someone profusely bleeding on the bathroom floor, and of course, it's assumed to be Travis. A bloody palm print was found on the wall in the bathroom hallway that contained DNA from Travis and Jody. She was indicted on July 9th, 2008 by a grand jury in Maricopa County, Arizona for first-degree murder, and 6 days later, she was arrested. Jody was extradited to Arizona on September 5th, and on the 11th, she pled not guilty. She gave multiple different stories about her involvement in Travis's death. First, she told the authorities that she hadn't been in Mesa on the day of the murder and last saw him in March of 2008. Then later, she said that 2 intruders had broken into Travis's home, murdered him, and then attacked her. If that was the case, why wouldn't you have just said that from the jump? On May 8th, 2013, Jody Ann Arias was found guilty on 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder. She claimed that it was done in self-defense and that she was a victim of domestic violence. She remains in jail to this day. But that is the end of my story for today. I hope that you guys found this one interesting. Like I said, a little bit more of a well-known one, but I still find it very interesting. And I don't see as many channels covering it, so that's why I did a video on it. But that is it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a thumbs up. For those of you that are coming back tomorrow, I'll have another video for you up at 7 a.m. Bye, guys.